Qudash, 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 Adonai, Elohim, Sabaoth, meaning holy, 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 Lord of hosts, Yah, He, Vah, He, masculine, feminine, as a collective whole, creating the tetragrammaton. In the beginning, Elohim said, let us, keyword us, create them in our image. The book of Genesis meaning generation of Isis, and Hebrew meaning Bereshit. As above, so below. Your Star of David, your two inverted triangles, the macro prosophus above and the micro prosophus below. Today we're going to go into the magical book of Solomon, the greater and lesser keys, and the testament of Solomon. All right, we're going to jump right into it. We're going to read the introduction. That's going to be the video, and it talks about how natural magneticism works, which people ignorantly call magic. It's nothing magic about mastering the elements of nature and the natural science of how things operate. So let's get right into it, and let's read. Oh, my son, Rehoboam, seeing that of all sciences there is none more useful than the knowledge of celestial movements, I have thought it my duty, being at the point of death, to leave thee an inheritance more precious than all the riches which I have enjoyed, in order that thou mayest understand how I have arrived at this degree of wisdom. Wisdom meaning the highest heights of magic, natural magneticism, knowing how things operate. It is necessary to tell thee that one day when I was meditating upon the power of the Supreme Being, the angel of the great God appeared before me as I was saying, oh, how wonderful are the works of God. I suddenly beheld at the end of a thickly shaded vista of trees a light in the form of a blazing star, which said unto me with a voice of thunder, Solomon, Solomon, be not dismayed. The Lord is willing to satisfy thy desire by giving thee knowledge of whatsoever thing is most pleasant unto thee. I order thee to ask of him whatsoever thou hast desire. Whereupon, recovering from my surprise, I answered unto the angel, that according to the will of the Lord, I only desire the gifts of wisdom, and by the grace of God, I obtained in addition the enjoyment of all the celestial treasures and the knowledge of all natural things. See? It is by this means, my son, that I possess all the virtues and riches of which thou now seest me in the enjoyment, in order that thou mayest be willing to be attentive to all which I am about to relate to thee, and that thou mayest retain with care all that I am about to tell thee. I assure thee that the graces of the great God will be familiar unto thee, and that the celestial and terrestrial creatures will be obedient unto thee in a science which only works by the strength and power of natural things, by the pure angels which govern them, of which later I will give thee the names in order, their exercises and particular employments to which they are destined, together with the days over which they particularly preside, in order that thou mayest arrive at the accomplishment of all which thou willest to find in this my testament, in all which I promise thee success, provided that all thy works only tend unto the honor of God, who hath given me the power to rule, not only over terrestrial, but also over celestial things. That is to say, over the angels, of whom I am able to dispose according to my will. See, we have dominion over angels, and to obtain from them very considerable services. Okay? Firstly, it is necessary for thee to understand that God, having made all things in order that they may be submitted unto him, hath wished to bring his works to perfection by making one which participates of the divine and of the terrestrial. That is to say, man, whose body is gross and terrestrial, while his soul is spiritual and celestial, unto whom he hath made subject the whole earth and its inhabitants, and hath given unto him means by which he may render the angels familiar, as I call those celestial creatures who are destined, some to regulate the motion of the stars, others to inhabit the elements, others to aid and direct men, others again to sing continuously the praise of the Lord. That's why I always say Kodash, 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 Adonai, Elohim, Sabayah, because that's the prayer that the angels sing day and night. Thou mayest then, by the use of their seals and characters, the seals meaning pinnacles, that's what they gravitate to, those symbols, because that is the angel language. And character render them familiar unto thee, provided that thou abusest not this privilege by demanding from them things which are contrary to their nature. Okay? Everything has a balance. For accused be he who will take the name of God in vain. Because when you say certain names of God, which are attributes, you invoke them. And by invoking them, you have to say them with the purpose, to fulfill a purpose. So if you just say it just to be saying it, you are saying the Most High's name in vain. And who will employ for evil purposes the knowledge and good wherewith he hath enriched us. So you cannot use these things for ill end, unlawfully. I command thee, my son, to carefully engrave in thy memory all that I say unto thee, in order that it may never leave thee. If thou doest not intend to use for a good purpose the secrets which I here teach thee, I command thee rather to cast this testament into the fire. See, if you don't use it for a good end, you better cast it into the fire, because guess what? The law of cause and effect is karma, you know? Everything we do, everything we say, words are spells. When we speak things into existence, there's a karma that comes with that. There's a condemnation that comes with it. So if you're not going to use it for good purpose and a means to a good end, you better not even deal with it at all, I command thee, my son, to carefully engrave in thy memory all that I say unto thee, in order that it may never leave thee. If thou doest not intend to use for a good purpose the secrets which I here teach thee, I command thee rather to cast this testament into the fire, than to abuse the power thou willest have of constraining the spirits. For I warn thee that the beneficent angels, wearied and fatigued by thine illicit demands, would to thy sorrow execute the commands of God, as well as to that of all such who with evil intent would abuse those secrets which he hath given and revealed unto me. Think not, however, O my son, that it would not be permitted thee to profit by the good fortune and happiness which the divine spirits can bring thee. On the contrary, it gives them great pleasure to render service to man, for whom many of these spirits have great likening and affinity, God having destined them for the preservation and guidance of those terrestrial things which are submitted to the power of man. There are different kinds of spirits according to the things over which they preside. Some of them govern the empyrean heaven which they preside, others the premium mobile, others the first and second crystalline, others the starry heaven. There are also spirits of the heavens of Saturn, which I call Saturnites. There are Javels, Marshals, Solar, Venerans, Mercurials, and lunar spirits. There are also spirits in the elements as well as in the heavens. There are some in the fiery region, others in the air, others in the water, others upon the earth, which can all render service to that man who shall have the good fortune to understand their nature and to know how to attract them. Furthermore, I wish to make thee understand that God hath destined to each one of us a spirit which watches over us and takes care of our preservation. These are called genies, who are elementary like us, and who are more ready to render service to those whose temperament is conformed to the elements which these genii inhabit. For example, shouldest thou be of a fiery temperament, that is to say, sanguine, thy genius would be fiery and submitted to the empire of Baal. Besides, basically meaning if you have a hot temperament, you basically would be given to Baal, to the bad spirits. Besides this, there are special times reserved for the invocation of these spirits, in the days and hours when they have power and absolute empire. It is for this reason that thou wilt see in the following tables to what planet and to what angel each day and hour is submitted, together with the colors which belong unto them, the metals, the herbs, the planets, the aquatics, aerials, and the terrestrial animals and incense, which are proper to each of them, as also in what quarter of the universe they ask to be invoked. So basically, there's four corners. So, like when I pray, I say Kudash, 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 Adonai, Elohim, Sabaoth, four times to the four corners of the earth. And then I'll go into different mantras, different prayers, meaning different stuff, which I'll tell you guys in a minute, which are proper to each of them, as also in what quarter of the universe they ask to be invoked. Neither are omitted the conjuration, seals, characters, and divine letters, meaning of the Hebrew alphabet, because there's a mantra that goes Nun Yad Tet. Then you have another one, Va Mim Bayet, or Semet Yad Tet. One is for physical healing, spiritual healing, and diseases, and protects you from death. Nun Yad Tet. Va Mim Bayet, is for more so psychic and spiritual healing. And each one, and they're all Hebrew characters when you say them in a sequence, which belong to them, by means of which we receive the power to sympathize with these spirits. And I'm going to show you the little table of contents of the planetary hours. This right here is basically the table of planetary hours. It tells you what angels govern those hours based upon what days, to call on them and what times. So this is something, once you get into this stuff, you have to master this stuff. and it definitely deals with constellations and rotations of planets. And also, I'm gonna show you like what the seals look like. You have different seals for everybody's different zodiac and birth sign. So let me show you what that looks like. Like the seals, they would look something like this. But I'm gonna show you in the table of what they for different birth months of what that is. Hold on, let me get into that real quick to show you like a quick example. Yeah, this thing show you how to go in invisible mode. It shows you different stuff, you know. It's like, hold on, right here. Right here. Like it shows you how to do the magical circles, the triangles. Right here, you know, it shows you different stuff. This is the one I actually made. That one I have on my wall. You probably see it in a lot of my videos. And I did it exactly how it said to do, the exact colors and everything that comes with it. You know, right here, this is the magical genie. You can use to call spirits. And King Solomon, he also created the magic carpet too. He shows you how to find a thief. If somebody steals from you, what you would have to perform in the process of that. See, like right here, this is key. Like right here, I keep this in my pocket. This is wrapped in silk. This is a herb called mugwort, which gives you clairvoyance. It allows you to have dreams, and it also allows you to have visions, you know? Everything has an order. I also have pinnacles I keep in my pocket, and I also, as well as I carry crystals around for different healing purposes. And I'm also a master of herbs. But I'm about to be out, but I'm going to leave and tell you the prayer in which I say, like I told you, I will go to the four corners of my room. I will say, Kodash, 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 Adonai, Elohim, Sabaoth. I will repeat that about 4 times. And then I will go into another mantra that's out of this book. It starts off Sator, Aripo, Tanat, Opera, Rotas, Aya, 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 Inam, Aya, Aya, Aya. And then it'll go into the Sephirots, Kether, Chokma, Bena, Gedula, Jebra, Tiferet, Netzach, Had, Yesad, Malkuth, Abraham, Isaac, Yaakov, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, be ye all presents in my aid, and for whatsoever I shall desire to obtain. Then I will go into another one. Glory and eternity touch my shoulders. Guide me in paths of victory. Mercy and justice be ye the equilibrium and splendor of my life. Understanding and wisdom give unto me the crown. Spirits of Makah conduct me between the 2 columns whereon is supported the whole edifice of the temple. Angels of Netzach and of Had strengthen me upon the cubical stones of Yesod. And then I will also say, I gird up my power in girdles of righteousness and truth, and the power of the Most High. Ankor, Amakor, Amides, Theodonas, Anator, let be mighty my power, let it endure forever, and the power of Adonai, who the praise and the glory shall be, whose end cannot be. And then I will recite the Hebrew alphabet. I'll start off Aleph, Bayet, Gemal, Dalet, Hey, Va, Zayn, Hayet, Tet, Ya, Kaf, Lamed, Meme, Nun, Aim, Pei, Tezadeh, Quaf, Resh, Shin, Tav. So the first letter will be Aleph, Bayet, Gemal, Dalet, and then it will end at Tav, which is the 22 letter of the Hebrew alphabet. Like I told you, there's mantras I also say too. Nun Ya Tet. Then that's 3. That's one mantra. Va Mim Bayet. That's another mantra. And then Semech Ya Tet. And when you're holding crystals and other stuff, it will help cellular regenerate, especially when you have certain incense lit, like frankincense and myrrh or sage, you know. And then I'll go into the Anabakowach prayer. Anabakowach Gadula Yamenecha Tatir Tezura Kabel Renat Amecha Sagvenu Taharenu Nora, Na, Gibor, Dushe, Yichideka, Kavaat, Shamrim, Berachim, Taharim, Rachame, Yitzedeka, Tamid, Gamlim, Chasim, Kadash, Ba, Rav, Tav, Cha, Nahir, Arateka, Yachit, Gehe, Ayamach, Pane, Zachre, Kadusha Teka, Shavatenu, Kabel, Ushma, Taza, Akatenu, Yade, Tehalumat, Fiat, Fiat, Fiat. And all of these mantras, I memorized them and learned them because I do a lot of exercising. So in between reps of me exercising each day, I will remember different parts of it to the point I would memorize all this stuff by heart. And, I would just say the stuff over and over, like little bits and pieces. And then eventually I would make videos on it. I would listen to my own videos that would also help me memorize it. So this stuff is in my database. It's in my consciousness. It's in Kether. It's in my crown. It's in my halo. It's in my third eye. It's in my ascension to my higher self. And those are the things I say. I like candles. I like sage. I like frankincense and myrrh. And I will go through this mantra. Normally I do it when I get up, and then I will do it when I go to sleep. And then I'll say Tat, Sat. It's symbolic to what amen means, and it basically, it's a duality. It's like the cosmos to nature, the masculine to feminine, the spirit to matter. So this is how you connect with these higher elements. You have to know the right things to say and the right time to say them as well. So I'm out. Kudash, 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 Adonai, Elohim, Sabayah.